right, so we're going to go ahead and remove the front drive shaft, and we're at the transfer case right now. We're going to go ahead and remove these series of bolts all the way around here. Do this for all of the bolts. Now we're going to go ahead and remove these series of bolts on the front drive shaft where it's attached to the front differential. Do this for all 4 bolts. All right, so now we're going to want to go ahead and separate the drive shaft from the transfer case. I'm going to use a screwdriver and just try and work this out like so. We'll pop this out and drop that off to the side. Now we're going to move to the front side of the drive shaft. I want to see if we can just kind of shake this free. Might have to use a screwdriver. Just pop that flange. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and try and work this out through the back. Manipulate this here just enough to get it out of the vehicle. The transmission crossmember is in the way from us removing the front drive shaft, so we're going to loosen these 4 bolts here and loosen them on the other side, but we're not going to remove it. We're just going to lower it just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and loosen these bolts a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and try and remove these bolts slowly, but keep the other side bolted up so we can try and get a little more room here to remove that drive shaft. Use a jack here to support the tail end of the transmission and transfer case. I'm going to go ahead and loosen the other bolts on the other side, and then we're going to try and get some extra room here to get that drive shaft out. Might have to remove these bolts. Might be able to lower that transmission and transfer case a little bit. Give us a little bit of room here. And then set this aside. So we're going to go ahead and raise the transmission and transfer case back up into place. And we're going to start a few of these crossmember bolts back up inside. Do this on both sides. Just going to snug these up and repeat for the other side. Now we can go ahead and remove that jack. Go ahead and remove this front vent hose from the diff. Slide that off. And then remove this connector. Using a jack, go ahead and support the differential. And then we're going to remove these two bolts right here. I'm going to go ahead and remove this bolt here. Now there is a nut on the other side of it, so you want to be sure to go ahead and collect that and put this aside. Now on the passenger side of the differential, I want to go ahead and remove the separate bolt here. And we do have the differential supported by a jack. We'll removing the nut off the front side of it first. I'm going to keep the bolt in there if we can. I'm going to keep the bolt in there because that is what's holding it in place right now. All right, we're going to go ahead and try and remove this bolt here. I'm going to slowly lower the differential. We're now going to go ahead and pull the bushing out of the front differential. Let's go ahead and install the bushing now. We did grease the piece of this bushing here and inside the diff, and we're just going to go ahead and use a hammer just to try and set that into place. I'm going to go ahead and apply some grease to the differential and the bushing itself on the case. Going to go ahead and set it in place just by tapping it in with the hammer. Just to get it started and hold it in place. Go ahead and raise up the differential and get the rear bushing up and the bolt started first. With that bolt in place, we're going to go ahead and get the passenger side differential bolt installed. And then we'll move to the front and get those two bolts installed. I'll go ahead and get the front bolts mounted or installed. Get those threaded in and get both of those caught. I'm going to go ahead and try and snug those down as far as I can by hand. Now that we have all 4 bolts installed, we can now go ahead and lower the jack. I'm going to go ahead and thread on the nut for the passenger side differential mounting bolt. I'm going to do the same for the other side. And we're going to go ahead and just thread that nut on. I'm just using my fingertip to roll that on. That's that. We're now going to go ahead and torque the side bolt here to 70 foot-pounds. And we'll do the same for the driver's side. We'll go ahead and torque these 2 front bolts down to 35 foot-pounds. Just double check this one here. And once those 2 bolts are torqued, we're now going to go ahead and come on over to the differential right here. I'm going to go ahead and reconnect the electrical connector. Get that snapped on, and then we'll put that lock in, and then we'll hook up the differential vent tube. Just press that on like so. Using a jack, go ahead and support the transfer case in the transmission. We're going to now go ahead and loosen and lower the cross member here. Now what we're going to do is lower the transmission down. All we'll do is go ahead and feed the drive shaft up. Get this into position. With this lined up, we're just going to go ahead and get some of these bolts started by hand. We're simply going to go ahead and rotate the drive shaft around to get all of these bolts started. We'll go ahead and start snugging these down. And I'm actually going to go and move around a little bit. I'm not going to do it right in a row. And once these are all tight, we're gonna go ahead and move to the front. All right, so now what we'll do is we're gonna rotate the drive shaft to get that in a position. And we're gonna go ahead and get one of the bolts started in the flange. Once you get it started by hand, we can go ahead and rotate the drive shaft and get another bolt started. Just continue this process for all 4 bolts. I'm going to go ahead and tighten all 4 of these bolts. Make sure all 4 of them are pretty snug. Go ahead and tighten down these back bolts. Make sure all of these are tightened down, pretty snug. And that drive shaft is seated into the seat right there. Just do this for all of the bolts. Now go ahead and raise the transmission and transfer case back up in a position. And we're going to get those bolts started here. Once these 4 are in, go ahead and repeat for the other side. Once the cross member is tight, go ahead and lower the jack. And you can go ahead and remove that completely.